Here, waiting for a sponsorship.
All right, in just a little bit, we're going to get into the American Legion update and standings, playoff updates, and what's going on. Hunter was at a game last night.
Mm-hmm.
But first of all, that was the plan to get into that first. But, like we said, Kawhi dropped a bomb on us last night about 3 a.m.
In Kawhi fashion.
And
days after everybody else.
So, kind of what's been happening, and I'm going to say it from a personal standpoint. I'm glad I'm glad he didn't join the Lakers.
Yes,
I agree.
For about 5 different reasons.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with a couple, and you guys can
Go ahead.
join another. I didn't understand the point of, let's say Kawhi's got 2 championships, right?
Mm-hmm.
KD's got 2 championships. Mm-hmm. Why would you join LeBron?
Yeah.
And no matter how many ever championships you win,
This LeBron.
he's got more.
Yeah.
So let's say we play the next 5 years out. Let's say Kawhi wins 2. Let's say Kevin Durant wins 2.
Mm-hmm.
Now 2 other small forwards during LeBron's career and era have more championships than he does. That's what they could be going for.
Mm-hmm.
And going for the top 10 in the pantheon of players and stuff. Or if he joined LeBron, I think he would have lost all those chances. He wins 4 or 5. Maybe he does kind of like what Kobe did when Shaq left, wins 2 more with somebody else. And then let's say it would have. I'm not saying they would have. They should have. If they were together, they should have won a championship.
Mm-hmm.
But with 3 players that don't shoot threes, they would have to sign like 5 or 6 players in today's game, because the Warriors could still shoot them out of a game with Clay and Steph.
Oh yes.
So that's something that I would concerned about basketball wise. If he's joining the Lakers and they don't get enough shooting to keep up, how would they get? Because that's 3 kind of one-on-one players. I mean, LeBron's game is take it to the hole and just bully ball you. Kawhi's is one-on-one. Now, he pull from anywhere. Kawhi will. But
Yeah.
Anthony Davis needs space to operate, too.
He does.
So I didn't think that matched up well. I thought it would be nice for him to run it back in Toronto, like a 2-year deal, and say, let's defend the title.
I think a
with these
lot
guys.
of people thought if he stayed, it would have just been like for a 1 year.
Defending the title says something.
Yeah.
But legacy-wise, and the whole time, I thought this was the best thing for him would be go to the Clippers, because if he gives a championship in Toronto, and if he can get a championship to the Clippers. Now, remember, the Clippers, there's 3 teams in NBA history who've never been in a conference finals.
Mm-hmm.
The Hornets, the Pelicans, and the Clippers.
Okay.
If he can get them just to the Western Conference Finals, that's something the franchises never did. And if he gets them a championship, that could, that's legacy right there.
I got a bomb I'll just drop
So go
whenever
ahead.
it's my turn. The Los Angeles Clippers are my favorite to possibly win the West next year.
Well, we discussed this 3 weeks ago. Were they not whoever Kawhi signs, they're the favorite.
Well, that's not the only reason.
And then
why.
they added
Paul
George.
George
That's
to
what
the
I was about to
team.
say. Not only
Instead of Gallinari, they got Paul George.
Not only did they get Kawhi Leonard, they got, I was talking to Terry about this, MVP discussed this past season. People forget that he is just as good of a 2-way player as Kawhi Leonard is. He's not, and Kawhi Leonard can set up the 3 because Paul George is 6'10". He can play the power forward position, and he can shoot threes. They are, and not only, but I think they also have the better coach. I think they have one of the best coaches in the NBA. They've retained Doc Rivers for all this time. What he was able to do with them, they kept Patrick Beverly. That's a little bull playing right there. Point guard, he can get in everybody's face. So I think that the Clippers, hands down, are the favorite to win the Western Conference. And I know a lot of people say, oh, how can you say that? LeBron James is going to be 100% healthy next year, and everywhere LeBron James, I'm like, wait a minute. LeBron James is 35 years old. He's going to be going on 36. Okay, he's not getting any younger. Not only that, Kyle Kuzma's still a baby. He's not a guaranteed star. Anthony Davis is not going to want to play this kind of ball. He's probably going to be asked to play, which is stand in the corner and become more of a stretch 4 than play your back to the basket. So I don't know if that's necessarily going to be right off the bat working. At least with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, you got 2 players right there that can create their own shot. They're not dependent on somebody giving them the ball like Anthony Davis is going to be. So to me, if you're just going to go off of which team that already has 2 stars would be favored to win in the West, then I'm going to give it to the Clippers, and especially because, Klay Thompson is still out with the Warriors, with the ACL. They lost Kevin Durant. So I think that the parity in the NBA, because of this move by Kawhi Leonard to the Clippers, is great. Like you said before the break, I think there's multiple teams that could win it. But if you ask me today who's the favorite to come out of the West, I'm definitely going with the Clippers. Really, not only just because Kawhi Leonard went there. I know he's a game changer. To me, he's the best player in the game right now while Kevin Durant's out with Achilles. But the fact that they added Paul George with him as well, those 2 guys combined, I think they both averaged 26 last year. So there you go. That's already 50 points on the floor for you.
Hey, Kevin, scroll back up to the top there. This is a great site. Anyway, I mean, I've never seen this before. Is this saying that the Clippers still have $33 million of cap room to sign?
No, well, that's because if you scroll down, this hasn't been updated. Kawhi,
how much
his contract is not in there yet.
Okay, so they're going to be over.
Yeah, once they sign him, because they've got the Paul George already on the deal. So once they put Kawhi's in there,
and Los Angeles is already over the cap.
They have. Let's see if anybody else. It looks like it, because they signed Danny Green and somebody else. Danny Green's not even on that list right now. So there may be something that hasn't been updated on it. So it's the trade machine. You go in here, and the best part about it, so during the season, you want to know if the contracts work out, because the way the trades work in the NBA, excuse me, if you're above the salary cap, if you make a trade with, you have to get back. You have to be this. The salaries have to match.
Okay.
If you're below the salary cap and you make a trade, you can take back all the money you want.
Okay.
But so when they say, well, we got to match salaries, that's what it is the teams are over the salary cap.
Okay.
So you can do this, and you hit this big button right here, and it tells you if the trade works or not.
Okay.
So yeah, I like this one in the regular season, because this is the one also. You can kind of you can get all the rosters on it too, and it tells how much people make. So that's the one I like to pull up and get in here and just lose my mind over this these guys right here. So Batum $25 million, Biyombo $17 million a year. Hunter,
he's got 1 year left on his contract, and so does Marvin Williams. Picked up his player option though. We're on the Hornets now, but did you have anything to comment on about the Clippers?
No.
Do you think Kawhi's the favorite? They're the favorite now. Is there a favorite?
I don't know. I mean, somebody's got to take it away from Golden State.
I just said he's the favorite in the West. We didn't even talk about the East.
Well, Clay's supposed to be back in January, so
it's not going to be till January.
I mean,
all they got to do is pick up another shooter.
As long as he's there for the playoffs, I don't care.
I mean, they got D'Angelo Russell, but I think he's a trade piece.
So
you got Clay and Steph,
and they still have Draymond Green, the best player in the NBA.
Terry Reinhardt.
I think definitely the champ's got to be dethroned. They've been there, and they've been there. Of course, now that you've got Leonard there, he's been there and won a couple of titles. So I mean, I think Hunter made a pretty good case for him. But the thing that I like, go a little different route, is I think it will be interesting in the West. I think because now you got the Clippers and you got the Lakers who have added. You still got Golden State. Don't completely forget about Houston. And some of the other teams in there. So
I think Houston's hit a wall right now. The only reason why I didn't count them is because the rumor is that the owner is not tied to D'Antoni at all anymore. He's about ready to ship off D'Antoni, and I would be perfectly fine with that if I was a Houston fan, because I don't think it's your players' problems. I think you've had good enough players. I think it's been D'Antoni's system the whole time. That's not a championship winning system. I do think Portland got better.
Get ready to say, don't forget about Portland.
I think Portland got better. Yeah. I think everything that the Jazz did makes them at least the top 3 team in the West, because they were already pretty good last year. So the West is going to be interesting. I just think the core makeup of players and the fact that they do have the 2 stars, like everybody's trying to say you got to have at least 1 or 2. I think the Clippers have the best tandem of stars, because I know you said Kawhi wouldn't have really mixed with LeBron and Anthony Davis, because I don't know if Anthony Davis and LeBron are even going to mix. I think on paper it looks pretty, but on the court I'm not sure if it translates. But I think Paul George and Kawhi instantly. That's good defense on both sides with Patrick Beverley at the guard position. And like I said, if they were to continue to average what they averaged last year, that's 50 points.
Here's what I'm wondering about it, and I guess that this is what they're gonna. This is how they're gonna run it. So, LeBron and AD make a killer pick and roll combo.
Yeah.
Neither one of them's a sharpshooter at three, like say Durant and Clay are.
But LeBron can shoot the three
right?
now,
He can
better than he used
and
to.
Davis can. What I was getting at is they're more of a modern day Karl Malone Stockton combo, and they'll be kicking it out to guys in the three. So how many times are teams just going to let LeBron and Anthony Davis just take twos and dunk on them and they just try to out three them? Houston will do that. Houston will let LeBron and Anthony Davis do layups and dunks.
Well, they don't play no defense anyway. So.
Same thing. Golden State will too.
Yeah, so they're both going to just try to shoot them out of the game for four out of 7 games.
Danny Green adds a little bit of shooting to him. Kyle Kuzma can hit the three as well.
I mean, if you're saying that, Portland's going to do the same thing.
Portland still got the best backcourt in the West.
Look what Portland has added. Here they just traded. Did you see the big trade that they re-signed Rodney Hood, and Nurkic is going to be back. But they just traded for Hassan Whiteside.
Yeah. That's why
maybe the best rebounding and defending center in the whole league. So now the West has got some big men to deal with.
Oh, and I totally forgot
and
about
he's
this team. You
challenge
have
Anthony Davis
right.
and LeBron. Yeah, I just pulled that. That's my favorite.
What
in the
hurts
list.
them though, I think the most. I think Michael Porter Jr. was going to be a real big help. I think they said that he tweaked something. I don't know how serious it is. I think they said he tweaked something in his first summer league game.
What you got? I'm seriously, man. You've got a lot. I mean, I forgot about Denver too. I mean,
they were the 2 seed.
They had.
Don't forget Utah.
Yeah, they had it. I mean, it's wide open.
But Denver added the secret weapon this year.
San Antonio's not going to be bad either.
Say Bowl.
Denver added the secret weapon this year, boys. Bowl to Denver. Woo! I'm just telling you.
Pull up. You haven't talked much about the East. Pull up the Nets got Durant and Kyrie. Did they add anything else?
They got DeAndre Jordan, who they wanted.
That's the only team in the East you're really talking about.
Yes, they got DeAndre.
I mean, Walker went to the Celtics.
But I don't know why
they're not going to be that good.
I was just saying, I don't know why they're going to be talked about so much because KD's not going to play at all.
I mean, they're going to be okay. I think they can be a 7th or 8th place team.
I think they might not make the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, they'll be a 7th or 8th place team to me. But
are they not the Charlotte Hornets this year?
Kyrie
and Kemba are the same thing.
They are the same thing. If Kyrie Irving doesn't win championships with LeBron, Kemba,
he's not getting higher than like a 7 or 8 seed, is he?
I think. Well, this is how I look at it.
With Joe Harris,
the Nets bench and the players that'll be on the court with Kyrie will make them better.
Chris LeVert is a good player. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson's decent.
They got Theo.
He can come off the bench. I mean, he plays good defense.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, is that roster better than the Hornets though?
But
I do.
But
you really
I know. I think think that's a lot better than the Hornets because this is what I have to say about the Hornets. Colin Cowherd makes a lot of. He says a lot of stuff that I agree with, and this is one of the main things I really agree with, and I'll see if you guys agree with this as well. He said, for you to be a contending team and a competitive team in the NBA, you have to show to me that you can score 75 points as soon as you walk in the building with the players that you have. I don't think that roster makeup, if you went by point average,
I've always said two guys need to get 50.
Yeah.
That's
point
been mine.
average.
Two guys need to get 50.
Like you average out the starters and the bench players for the Hornets.
But
I don't think any of it comes out to 75 points. That's what made Golden State so dangerous with Kevin Durant is that's 75 points in 3 players. Yeah. Steph, Clay, and Kevin could all get 25 in one night. That's 75 points, and you just got to say, hey, now the rest of you guys just go out
if you was Brooklyn
tens.
and you were Kyrie,
yeah. But does that make sense? Because I agree with your statement about the 50, but does that make sense, though? You need to be able to prove that you can get to a certain point.
Sometime during preseason. Or I'd miss this whole year.
That's what I was about to say. That's exactly what I was about to say. Think about it. Now, I don't think their roster's that good. I definitely don't think they can make the playoffs if Kyrie's not there.
No, if Kyrie doesn't play.
Well, LeBron tanked last year, and they got the whatever pick it was. 3rd?
No, 4th, and they traded it to the Pelicans.
Right. So they turned that into Anthony Davis.
To the Hawks.
Why wouldn't Brooklyn say, Kyrie, man, how you ankle feeling sore tonight? You probably shouldn't play tonight. I would do that 30 times next year. Back to backs.
If I was Kyrie, I would pull.
I would
Kawhi.
try not to make the playoffs.
I would pull. I would put. I would
get a better
Kawhi.
draft pick to add with get a good wing player next year to add with.
I'd pull a Kawhi Leonard and say I need load
What if
management.
they pick the best shooter in the draft next year to add on that team?
Then you'd have to re-sign Jordan again because he's only there for the year.
But they'll get him next year probably for like $12 million.
Yeah, he took
$10
a league
million.
minimum. I think
He's got
say
22 now. He's not getting that next year. Not a
No,
center that can't
no.
shoot anymore.
No, I don't think they
Or centers
updated
can't
that.
shoot, period. But
Did they? Did they? Is that updated? I thought he
De-
got a league minimum.
Dellavedova's getting
1 year.
$9.6 million a year.
yeah, welcome to Charlotte Hornets land, Tom.
Dellavedova's getting 9.6.
How about this? With
million.
Marvin Williams' contract this year, he's now made more in his career than Michael Jordan has.
God almighty.
Kemba made, all of them. Jordan made $93 million in his career. Not everyone that's signing
You
this year
want
is
to pull
getting
up
more
the
than one
point
contract
average?
than he
You
ever
want
got
to
in
pull
his
up the
career.
point average for the players that are on the Charlotte Hornets
Yeah.
roster right
How
now?
is J.R.
I want to
Smith
ask you
still
something,
No,
though,
you
guys.
don't.
And this is
J.R.
just my
Smith's still on
question.
the
This is for the whole world.
Uh-huh.
We're starting to see this max stuff. Now it's growing into 35 million. It won't be long. It's going to be 40 or
It
50
goes up every
million.
year.
No, Kemba's last year, if you do the math on it, it was for 1 year, $80 million basically if he stayed in Charlotte. But if you pull it out, it would have been $44 million a year. You'd have been paying Kemba $44 million.
That's what I'm saying.
At what point did and here?
When
do
does
you
this
think,
stop?
Do you think that has something to do with
Yeah, I
Jordan?
know. When is it no longer profitable to have a franchise?
Well, do you think that has something to do with Jordan saying, "Man, I made $35 million 1 year. I damn sure ain't paying Kemba Walker more than I made." Does that not? I mean, do you not? Do you think
No.
that crosses his mind?
No,
Well,
but
they're
those
saying
inflation
it's a
adjusted
luxury
dollars.
tax.
Well, here's
That's
the
what
thing.
I mean,
Well, Jordan
I
bought the
don't know how in
team.
the world you get across with paying these guys this guy.
But what I
Jordan
don't-
bought the team for like $250 million, his part, and these guys are getting contracts. The baseball contracts,
They're
the
making
three
that.
baseball players got more money. Trout
Yeah, they
and
got like $1 billion.
Arenado and all them got more money than Jordan made his whole life and bought the Bobcats for in one contract.
This is what I don't
Baseball.
understand. I don't know. And I told my buddy this yesterday. I was like, the Hornets would be just as good if they fired everybody in their front office and took Joe Blows like me and you, because it seems like we're the only ones that can see these things going into motion.
We would actually do better because we'd get a top 3 pick.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
We get the
exactly
top
right.
3. But what did we say last year? And you alluded to this. I agreed with you. You probably agreed. If you knew you couldn't sign him,
Trade
why
him.
didn't you trade him?
Yeah.
The dumbest.
Just like you've got the 1-year contracts right here, and you know good and well you're not signing Bismack
roast the
Biyombo
Hornets
back.
time, Tom. You
You
ready
are
for
not
this?
signing Kid Gilchrist back. Trade him for. I don't care if it's for nothing. It'll probably help with what cap.
Somebody
problem
would
you
have gave him a first-round pick, maybe 2. You could have got a player for Kim. You could have got all kinds of things for Kim.
The Lakers wanted him so bad at one point. They had the number 4 pick. You could have signed and traded Kemba for that 4th pick, or the. I don't understand. And you could have got who I think, they said it's a 3-man draft. I thought it was a 4-man draft. I think DeAndre Hunter is going to be a really good pro.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a good pro, and he could be in Charlotte.
What's the
With-
average NBA player? What, 10 point something million?
Something like
right
that.
now, it's
What league?
Well, I
they
remember-
just get
I
the league
just-
minimum.
I just remember a long time ago, back in the '90s, when Glenn Robinson got drafted by the Bucks and wanted some $100 million contract. The owner said, "Well, I'll just take that contract and give you the team," because I mean, it had gotten that bad. I mean, but that's just telling you that was back in the mid '90s. I mean, this has been going on for decades. I mean, I don't see how they, Terry, I'm with you. I don't know how they pay.
I don't see how you do
listen,
it.
it's fine. I don't think. I think they need to get rid of the max deals because then you could sign whoever for whatever and pay them what they're worth. LeBron might get $70 million a year to play basketball.
It's crazy.
But I don't think that Brevin Knight deserves $15 million a year.
No.
Or
No.
J.R.
Oh,
Smith deserves
I was
15,
about
and
to
Jordan
say, you
Clarkson
should-
and Larry Nance Jr. and
Now
John
it's-
Henson
Here,
$10 million a
I got
year.
one to tell you.
Deladova $10
I
million.
got one to tell you.
And the
right
whole
now.
Hornets
You
Those
don't.
are-
I bet you don't think
advertisers
Terry
must be
Rozier
paying.
deserves that $50 million he's getting
Oh
in
my
Charlotte
God.
right now. Do you?
Well,
getting $19
I guess we
million
do
a
got to talk
year.
about that trade, don't we? The Kemba Walker for Terry
$19
Rozier
million a
trade.
year. I tweeted it because I agree with how Kevin states it. If he is not averaging 19 points a game for the next 3 years, it's a blown trade. It's a blown deal. It is another bad
Terry
deal.
Rozier is not a bad player.
No, I'm not saying
I'm
he's
gonna
a
put
bad
to you
player.
like this: if he becomes Charlotte's Hornets starting point guard,
Which he most likely
and
will.
he probably will.
They don't have another point guard on the
I
roster.
know.
Devontae
That's what I'm
Graham.
saying. But here's your deal with this: Terry Rozier will average 18 or 19 points a game.
Well,
might-
then,
he might have
if
to.
that's the case,
The
then
Hornets might
the
average
contract's
65.
I mean, he
adjustable.
will.
If that's the case, the contract's adjustable. If he's as good as he talks like he's the.
I ain't seen him
the
play
best
that
Good
point
point
guard.
guard.
defensive
Tom?
He's a good defensive guy,
Rozier.
and he's how would you put it, spitter sputter on his drives. I mean, he can stop on a dime and take a shot.
Oh, and he's crafty. He's pretty crafty, and he likes to play hard defense. I think someone that the Hornets really need to look into as well, since we carry the Hornets, we'll talk about him for a second, is Dwayne Bacon. He got like 23 last night in their summer league game. I know it's summer league, but he's been one of those guys that fluctuates back and forth between the G League, and we're at the point where it's like, hey, with the Hornets, next year you have nothing to play for. Let's just go ahead and put that out there. You have nothing to play for other than the draft spot. So why don't you put your young guns out there? Because Terry Rozier can still be considered a young gun. He's only been in the league, I think, 3-4 years. So put your young guns out there and just let them play.
I just can't believe that all these Hornets people here at the table, nobody's talked about Kennedy Meeks being signed
and
by
Isaiah
the Hornets.
Hicks.
And perhaps, you know, what a great story that
to
would be.
do what?
West Charlotte High School to the Charlotte Hornets.
To do what?
Do you know how many times the
Meeks
Hornets...
play center, man. That's what they said.
He's in the PR department?
No.
They have undrafted free agents.
No,
they got both of them.
He is on there.
They got Kennedy Meeks and Isaiah Hicks.
Mm-hmm. So I just can't believe
Someone tell me why.
As a Chapel Hill guy, I can't believe
you didn't bring
out
of those
Kennedy Meeks is Sean May Jr. and nobody was better at getting their own rebound than Sean May. Half his rebounds were his own misses. I couldn't stand watching him play.
But you know who was just raw
Rashad
talent,
McCants carried that dang team. That's who was raw talent.
But you know who raw talent-wise, though, between those two is? If you could get Isaiah Hicks to produce, he has the record in North Carolina for rebounds in a game. I think he had 40 for high school.
He'd make a good Bismack Biyombo, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean... We don't need to pay him $17 million a year.
You could ship Bismack Biyombo out of town and call Isaiah Hicks up on a rookie contract.
All right, so real quick on the Hornets rosters before I get to Terry's Celtics. So looking at the contracts, what Hunter's talking about is they're going to be bad for the next 2 years, which they are. Yeah. If they don't sign or get anybody, which they never have before, so I don't know why they would start now. The contracts, all the bad ones will be over in 2 years, period. They will have enough in 2 years, Hunter, to sign 3 max contracts if they wanted.
But here's
they
the thing,
could.
though.
They're going to be the Knicks, and nobody's going to want to sign with us. Charlotte might get one.
Charlotte would have to do this. They would have to change their culture in this way. They would
got to draft good the next 2
They'd have to draft good, but they actually have to get aggressive in free agency. They're not aggressive in free agency. They don't go after anybody. They're scared.
They've never signed free agents.
They are scared that the fact they're the Charlotte Hornets, no one's going to come. Well, maybe if you offer them the right contract, they just might, and not these Nick Batum type contracts.
That's the right contract for them to go.
No,
that's how you get people in Charlotte. Well, see, here's the plan. The next 2 years, they have to tank. They have to get the 2 best picks they get. They have to hit those 2 picks, and then they have they have to be attractive, like Brandon Ingram and them, and that where a free agent would want to come play. And want to come and take the money. That's their only chance.
Brandon Ingram,
do you not think you have to be like the Knicks? And a lot of people say, well, they lost out because they didn't offer Kevin Durant the max contract. But do you not think you have to be like that if you're the GM and the owner? Because they said, look, we've done this before and we've been burnt. I mean, guys, they can't just say, okay, I'm going to get you. I'm going to give you everything that you want. This has become your town. And all of a sudden you get injured, and
if it comes to the point where they have spots for max deals, and look, I don't care.
I'd say this on the Knicks, Terry. The fact they haven't won in 40-something years, and then the fact of if it was Kawhi, I agree with you. If it was Paul George, I agree with you. Anybody else. But Kevin Durant might be a top 5 player of all time if he continues. If he wins 3 more championships or something, I think you'd have to take the risk on it. Because, one, it's not like Dolan's young. Like, why would you, at some point with all these billions of dollars, you got to take a good risk. Because that would make the fans happy instead of saying. But I understand them being scared about it. But they made all these moves to do it, and then we've seen that they backed out of Kawhi and Durant in this free agency process. So I don't know what they're doing. And speaking of them, and I laughed my butt off last night when I saw this. The headline, I don't know if it's probably not here anywhere. The Vegas Summer League, the favorite to bet. Did you see the betting favorite in the Summer League was? Now, if you're the betting favorite in the Summer League, that isn't good, Tom, because that means all your starters are playing in the Summer League.
I just didn't
It's
know
not
you could
the
bet
The
on.
betting favorite.
What's next? Are you going to
Tom,
bet
it's
on
in
Shelby
Vegas.
Lawn and Garden? And
It's in Vegas.
Vegas.
You don't think they can bet on that?
Oh,
It's in
no, yeah, they
Vegas.
who
place
would
in
bet
Vegas.
on that? Who would?
Ton of
If
people.
you're a betting man,
Ton
you'll
of
just
people.
do whatever.
Ton of people.
I'd bet
I'm
on
not
it.
betting on
You're
it.
totally
Son.
asking the
bet
wrong
on
questions,
that.
Tom.
I'd have bet on it.
Who would bet?
I was reading with
I was
the
reading a
over every
tweet
time.
yesterday that said that during the first earthquake during the earthquake in Vegas they were behind someone, not last night, the other night, and they felt the earthquake, and the guy said, the guy in front of me said, "Give me the Reds." It was -2 or whatever, 2-run, whatever, and the person, the worker said, "Hold on, we're having an earthquake." He goes, "Well, hurry up and cash the ticket before it gets canceled and changes." And the guy's like, "I've heard everything now."
Yeah.
The guy in front of me wanted his ticket before the earthquake
Yeah.
brought the house down.
Oh man!
So, Tom, everything is
I tell you
bet on.
something. You would be
Everything's bet on.
surprised how many degenerate gamblers there are that are just
Have
like,
you not-
"Hey man, there's
Have you not
something
seen
to
the
bet on tonight."
exposés in Florida where they have gambling rings on the Pop Warner games?
No.
Yes. The Bob Lay on ESPN did a thing on that. So they had gambling in Florida. The coaches were setting the lines, and then they would gamble in the stands during the Pop Warner games.
Setting the lines, my God.
I'm telling Tom, if there's any type of competition, someone somewhere is betting
Gonna bet
on
on
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Terry, you know this though. The Martin twins, Cody and Caleb, that
Yeah.
are playing.
Uh-huh.
Are they identical twins? They play for state,
I think they are.
I don't think they're identical.
but
So-
they're but
They
wouldn't
look
wouldn't that be?
exactly
I know
alike.
hey,
they're close, but I
wouldn't
don't
that
think
be
they're
cool?
identical. I think
What-
one was born one day and another day or something.
I didn't like that pick either.
But if you don't look, if you're not going to win a lot of games, you got the twins that came out of state, and you got Meeks that came out of Carolina. I mean, hey,
wait,
at
they
least you
got
have some
both of
home-
them on the team.
Yes.
Meeks is not making the roster.
They got both of those Martin twins. What are they trying to be, the Morris twins?
But what I'm just telling you, wouldn't that be great? I mean, everybody would come with their Carolina and state jerseys on and all this stuff. At least have
everybody.
some. Hey, if you're not going to win, at least have some like hometown guys that people can go out and cheer
Looks
for.
like that's what you're
I
trying
mean,
to
Yeah,
do.
it's one of them things that it's good.
Gabe
Like, like
DeVoe.
Kevin
They
says,
call
it's
Gabe.
about selling hot dogs, right, Kevin?
Call Gabe DeVoe.
Yeah, and it's one of our good
Oh,
things
yeah,
with
that's what you
y'all
can do.
going to the ball games and everything, and y'all get to do interviews. So now tell us what really happened at North Carolina State.
How much
Terry,
money was Dennis Smith really paid?
More than likely, I might not go to a single Hornets game next year.
You will.
We will,
Yeah,
because we
don't
like
even
interviewing the other players when they come in.
That's exactly right. I hate to say
That's
that.
what we will.
I hate to say that.
Hornets
but
locker room is
let's
nice.
not- let-
The other one is just
the
plain
other
as
one,
can be.
The other one
Just
isn't, and
nothing.
I've seen that one more than the Hornets.
Haven't the Hornets blocked you
Yeah.
on social media, Kevin?
No, Kemba Walker did.
I don't know why.
I never said anything mean to him. I've never said anything mean to Kemba. I just
Let it be known.
yeah.
I
block me on
interviewed.
Twitter.
Let it be known. I interviewed the Finals MVP.
And you got fussed at by for interviewing Kemba too. So it might be Hunter's fault that I got.
I
blocked.
did
I don't
get
know.
fussed at for interviewing
Might have
Kemba.
thought it was me. Maybe they thought that was me
I don't
and blocked me
understand.
instead of you.
Like we had just finished a
Ain't
little
that what it
group,
was, Harry?
the group of it, and I stayed after for like
he
all
got
kind of
fussed
like
at, and
to
I got a
tell him
mean email,
something.
and now I'm blocked.
And then
by
I
Kemba.
walked off.
Ah,
Like what the hell?
I bet it was me.
What?
They just got our names mixed up. My name was on the thing, KTC, and Kemba's people
He's
blocked
mad
me
at
for.
you.
Why would
You're
no?
fine.
Why would he get in trouble for interviewing?
So the rules are you got to interview them in a group setting, no one-on-ones,
Oh,
unless you
okay.
set it up.
Okay.
So,
okay.
but like you're in the locker room, and like there's no like, boom, boom, boom. Hey guys, I'm ready for interviews, and everybody comes over to the guy. Like you just wait, and then most of them send in their towels and don't get changed because they don't want to talk to you, and then they're like time
And
for bus, and then and
And half
so,
the time you're fighting everybody to
Right.
try and talk to Kemba. So we were finished with what we had asked him. I had asked him a question in the group setting, and we were starting to disperse. And it was not. And it was kind of like a question, but like a story. I told him. I just told him how me and my friend group had like whenever we crossed somebody up and to hit a step back on them, we called it the Kemba Walker because of what you did in the Big East tournament. I wanted to just let you. Is that how you think you got recognized? It's like a question but a story at the same time. So, first of all, Hornets, I'm never coming back. Second of all,
yeah, he is.
don't worry, I'm coming back, but you don't have to worry about me talking to your players. No.
I don't, man.
But yes, let it be
I got to
known.
make better decisions on that.
You know, I thought about it. I asked Kawhi, because I still have the interview.
You did talk to me.
I asked Kawhi. I was like, because
talking
it
to
was
Danny
close.
Green. Hey, I was talking to two-time champion Danny Green. He's
Yeah,
got the
you
same
were.
number of rings.
That's okay.
that
2 times.
Kawhi
I'm just talking, finals MVP and the man that held free agency in the palm of his hand. Anyways, but I didn't realize it until now. But I literally asked him. I was like, I just asked him, you guys basically ready for the playoffs? Like, are you guys focused on the playoffs? When I asked help, bro, I got him in the zone, man. It was me. It was all me. Just like it was me who got Tobias Harris traded. I was the last one to talk to him when he was a part of the Clippers at the Hornets. And guess what? He was traded the next day. You can thank me, 76ers.
See, Hunter is the one causing the problems here. I tried to tell you. No, the only thing I've ever said about Kemba is I think he's an outstanding player. He's all right. People, kids today or the younger generation think, he's meant the most to the franchise and he means this most. But and you've been sitting here for, I guess, maybe his whole career with me, and I've been saying the same thing for 7 years. You can't win with the shoot first point guard being your team leader, and it's never going to happen, and now he's gone. I like him. He's good, but you had to have other pieces. And the most excited I've been in 7 years was last year when they added Dwight Howard, because that meant, to me, they needed one more piece, a Paul George. Anyone on the wing, anyone, just close your eyes. Yeah. Anyone that can score 20 points on the wing, and then you got 3 counter pieces. Kemba and a Dwight Howard pick and roll is nasty. Now, if you got shooters around it, it's really good. But nope, they didn't commit to it at all. Got rid of everybody.
Not only did the Hornets
and Dwight, by the way,
Kemba,
folks, he set the team record in field goal percentage and averaged 17 and 13. So he played well.
I mean, not only did you lose Kemba, I mean, you lost the shooter in Jeremy Lamb. There is not a person on this team.
National championship combo, right?
Yeah, there is not a player on this team. Seriously, maybe Scary Terry, but we'll see. But there's not a player on this team that can can't get 20, and there's not a person on this team that can put the ball on the floor and make his own shot. He can't. There's no shot creation on this team. It's going to be the most boring style of basketball you'll ever see.
I tell you who the biggest fans of the Hornets are going to be: the opposing assistant coaches.
Yeah,
they'll have to do no work.
No.
Y'all, what do y'all want to play tonight? 2-3.
All right.
We'll play a boxing one. Pick one. Just pick one.
Oh my gosh!
We're going to try all of our zones against the Hornets, guys.
Coach, we're at the
because
Hornets.
they're not going to beat us. Let's try our 2-3 or 1-3-1 or 4-3. They're going to press. They're going to try everything.
Coach, we're at the Hornets. Who do we need to focus on tonight?
Well,
Dude, I don't care.
Just promise we'll get to go to one game in a pink Cadillac this year. Kevin.
Yeah, we're going to try. I tell you what. The good thing about the Hornets is they do have the prettiest colors in
I want to ask you something. Why would the Hornets get rid of Kemba? I understand that deal. I mean, they just didn't want him, couldn't afford him, etc. I mean, I'm with all that, Michael, if that's what you want to do. But then you turn around and Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
I had a hard time with that one. I'm like, why
you
could have
re-signed Lamb.
I mean, to me, when you coming down the stretch, it was Kemba or Lamb.
Lamb hit some pretty
good
good
bunch of game winners while we were in
Lamb
the
hit
building.
the one against the Raptors.
You know, I mean, and I did not understand it. I mean, you totally just blew your whole team all to pieces.
Well, got a tank, Terry.
I think that's the point.
Who's the best pit player coming out next year?
I have no idea.
Do y'all know?
I don't know. It's going to be one of these Duke boys, probably.
I mean, it's going to be Cavs and Hornets, and
yeah.
The Cavs will get the first pick for the 19th time, unlike the Hornets ever.
Oh, don't get me started on the.
Have we had one? We had one, wasn't it? Wasn't Larry Johnson
get me.
first?
Yeah, don't get me started.
Larry was first.
Do not get me started with the dang NBA
We never did
draft.
look at Boston. I'm gonna tell you, when you do look at Boston, Boston's not bad.
Somebody called in on a radio show I was listening to when I was in Florida, and they said they were trying to make the statement that the NBA draft is, they were making a statement the NBA draft is rigged, and the guy was like, "Oh, there's no way." And I'm sitting there thinking, dude, you know what? After what he listed, I was like, "Yeah, I think the NBA draft is rigged. I do think it's 100% rigged."
We pick up Enes Kanter. That's a plus. To play the middle, we lost Horford. Now he can't shoot the three like Horford, but he can protect the rim.
Y'all don't got to worry about.
Where did Horford end up?
76ers.
Philadelphia.
That was the stupidest deal Philadelphia could have ever made. That's the stupidest deal Philadelphia
to me,
could have made.
you replaced Butler with Horford. To me, that made Philadelphia worse.
I think it made them better defensively. I think it made it worse offensively. You know why? Guess what? Ben Simmons can't shoot. Al Horford can kind of shoot, but he's going to want to play down low. Joel Embiid plays down low.
That's what I'm saying. I think
Tobias Harris is the only shooter you got.
And they lost JJ.
And Tobias Harris, they lost JJ. And Tobias Harris can go to the rack.
Here's how you know the Pelicans aren't going to be make the playoffs next year, Tom? They got 5 Duke players that could be on the court at one time.
But you look at Boston.
Sorry, Terry.
You're not going to be bad.
You can't rely on Duke players.
No, look, I'll say
gonna
this,
be bad.
Terry.
Y'all make the playoff. Y'all be getting second round.
Y'all don't have to
Who
worry.
else is in the East? Y'all make the second round.
You don't have to worry about. I know you just said like we
Might
lost
make
out.
the
Enes
conference
Kanter
finals
can't
depending
shoot
on
threes.
who
Y'all ain't
gets
got to
hurt.
worry about shooting threes. Y'all got 3-point shooters all over the place. Marcus Smart,
That's what I'm saying.
Hayward, Jason
We're
Tatum.
probably, and this is me saying right now, Boston's probably the 3rd best team in the East right now.
I gotta ask you a question, Terry. Seriously, I saw someone put. You know how we got 2 stars in multiple places. I saw someone say that Boston has a 2-star system with Kemba Walker and Jason Tatum. I get Kemba Walker.
Nah,
I don't think you call Jason
All right,
Tatum a star.
Teams on the move. Real quick, we got to go to break though.
Yeah.
But Hunter's Wizards have traded Dwight to Memphis.
We have
Iguodala's been
decided to
traded to
tank.
Memphis. Memphis says they're going to trade Iguodala and buy Dwight Howard out. Expect Howard. I've been saying for a couple years, Terry. He gets up on Golden State. They got a live body in there instead of all these dead bodies like Bogut.
Yeah,
running
but they
around
just
in there.
signed
He's never
Willie.
gonna
They
touch the
just
ball.
was it
You
a
don't
sign?
have to.
Was
Rebound.
it a sign?
He's got to get a rebound and dunk it. That is all Dwight Howard has to do
I
for
don't
Golden
think
State.
I don't think they'll make that move because they just got Willie Cauley-Stein. That's like a skinnier Dwight Howard.
It could happen. L.A. maybe back to the Lakers. So looking in the East real quick though, team to look out for. Indiana. Oladipo missed a lot of time this year at the end of the year in the
right.
playoffs.
Yeah.
They were a 5 seed last year. Watch out for them. They
lost
didn't they get
Thaddeus
Brogdon?
Young.
Didn't they get Brogdon?
They
or
did
something?
get Malcolm Brogdon. They lost Thaddeus Young to the Bulls. They still have what's that big center for them? Played at Texas. God, I can't remember his name. Anyways, he's Miles Turner.
Yeah.
Miles Turner. He's very talented. So yeah, Indiana with how everything has shaken up with Kawhi not being with the Raptors.
Miami will make the playoffs
Yeah.
next year of Butler, right?
They should.
Yes.
So put them in. They lost.
And Dragic.
So teams out of the playoffs. Hornets ain't making the playoffs. Wizards ain't making the playoffs.
Hawks aren't. making
Hawks might. They got some good young talent. They can make a
they
run.
have good young talent,
Go ahead
but
and
I
say
think
No
it's
Cavs.
Go ahead
Sorry.
and say Cleveland ain't making a play.
No
Knicks
Knicks. Like so, there's only maybe the Heat and
Who out-
Hawks.
Okay, so if we're putting the Heat in and maybe the Hawks, who out of the 1 through 8's falling out? Maybe Detroit.
Maybe Toronto, depending on where Gasol and everybody goes. If it's mass exodus, it could be Toronto.
I still
It could
say
be Kyle
Toronto
Lowry.
falls from a number 2 down to
Oh, well,
about
they're
a number
falling out of the
6.
2, but I
or
think they
7.
could still be good enough to make
6
a
or 7.
playoffs. spot.
Siakam's gonna have to step up for them to make
They
to
say he's
stay in the
getting better and
playoffs.
better
So-
every
It's too
day.
bad because that town goes nuts for that team.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, I was just hoping they would keep.
Well, they
that.
don't. Hey, they goes nuts for it, but they can't say they haven't won a championship
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
All right, real quick, across the board before we go, give me your favorite in the East next year. Who's going to the finals right now today?
Let me ask you something. Did Middleton leave?
No, he
Milwaukee?
re-signed.
He's
Okay,
in
then
Big
Milwaukee.
contract. I was about to say
Milwaukee.
You're
it's
gonna say the Bucks.
It's Milwaukee or the 76ers. Milwaukee. or the
None of you
76ers.
say the Hornets. It's kind of weird.
I didn't think they were making the playoffs.
No Brooklyn.
Dang, just think the Brooklyn Nets with what they had.
Dang, I
last
nailed
year.
the Raptors last year, but by God, I don't know right now.
Milwaukee will probably. They won 60 this past year.
I hope Ben Simmons loses every year before he.
It
I hope he
seems
never
like-
makes the finals in his life.
I hope he does.
5 or 6 in both conferences that this could be interesting, and the rest you don't even have to think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the
You're-
thing. Here's the thing, though. There's like 2 or 3 interesting in the East, but I don't think any of them are beating a Western Conference.
Favorites are Bucks and Sixers. Watch out for Boston and Indiana to make the conference finals if one of those two falter.
Mhm.
Out west, favorite out west guys across the board.
I'm Clippers.
I'm Portland.
After what they did in their head coach.
I'm
taking
Denver.
Clippers. Taking Denver.
We got 3 out of
I
3.
say you still got to take it away from Golden State.
So you're still.
I
going
didn't know
Golden
they
State.
traded Iguodala.
Yeah.
They traded. I didn't even
They
realize.
got
I was reading
D'Angelo
about that.
Russell now.
Yeah, they did get D'Angelo.
Ain't that your boy? Ain't he from
But-
Ohio State? Is
yeah.
that one of your boys?
Yeah, but I think
they gave away some draft picks too.
Here's
so
what
they're trying to hold on now.
A lot of people are saying-
Actually said they might trade
Yeah, I
D'Angelo.
was gonna say, I hear a lot of people saying he's going to be there till trade deadline. Then that's when Klay Thompson's going to be coming back, and then he's probably gone for I don't know what.
So he's staying there to keep him alive until Thompson comes
until
back.
Klay comes back. If Klay comes back,
is
old
what you're
Klay
looking
off
at.
ACL tear. So I don't know.
All right, folks. That's our NBA talk, JP. We're finally there's a lot of stuff to go through in that. We squeezed
That
in
was a lot.
We squeezed in so much, but that was a big segment, folks. We're going to come back, and we've got American Legion Baseball, Major League Baseball, NASCAR, a little NFL, American Legion softball and more on KTCBroadcasting.com.